Would you like to know how did I go from this door to this door? You clicked on the right video in YouTube. So like this video and let's go on. Let's learn, practice, and share. Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel, Math Tutorials. In the previous tutorials, I spoke about walls, columns, beams, slabs, and how we can edit, modify, and take control of these elements. Today I'm gonna skip these elements and I would like to talk about door, which in Archicad we have a great collection of the doors. The first thing is that you can draw doors only on the walls. So here I'm gonna draw just a sample wall. The thickness, the length doesn't matter. And then I'm gonna click on the door tool. Here on the info box, so we have limited options to edit. The first one is the anchor point of the door, which we can set the anchor point in the middle on the left side or on the right side of the door. Then we have the sizes, which A and B. A is the width and B is the height of the door. And then here we have the distance from the bottom of the wall. And the other options I'm going to explain during drawing any doors. The first thing on the plan view is when I bring the cursor on the wall, we see a shape like this that indicates the outside and inside of the door. So for example, I want to draw a door which the exterior is on this way. I'm going to click once and then it shows how do we want that this door be opened. And with the second click, we're going to have the door like that. The good point in Archicad is if you clicked on the setting dialog, you would see a very large library of different types of doors. And when you click on these folders, you will see that each one is different. So the first one is just openings in the walls with different shape. And of course, you can modify the dimension and the shape of these openings. The next one is garage doors, and you could choose different styles depending on your design. The hinge doors, which we use the most in our projects. And as you can see, we have a lot of options to work with. And of course, we can modify each item, each dimension. And then we have rotating doors, sliding doors, which also has a lot of different options. Then folding doors and storefronts. So for example, I'm going to go to the most simplest one, which is door number 25. And this 25, it means that we are working with the door, the version of Archicad 25. And as you see, all of these doors has the same number, which is the version of the Archicad that you are working with. Well, I'm going to select this door. And here on the top, I'm going to select this door. And here on the top, we have dimensions as we had here on the info box, which generally is width and height of the door. The anchors that we can choose, and the anchor point is on the left side, right side, and the middle. And then here we have a lot of options to control this door. The first one is sizes, which we can take control of the dimension of the leaf, the frames, the walls, and how much this wall is going to cover this frame. And everything is completely clear with the numbers. And here also you have these numbers. So you can completely take control of the wall. Also here is the plan view. And here is the side view or the section view. This is the bottom and this is the top of the door, which is connected to the wall. On the next page, we have different types of leaves. And here you can choose a different one. Here, for example, for this type of door, we have more than 60 type of leaves. And you can select any of them. For example, I'm going to select this one. And then we can choose the handle. And then here we can decide that how do we want this door to be open, just one side or double-sided. I'm going to put it on the first option. Then we can choose the frames And how do we want to see this door in the 3D view and on the plan view? So also here I can select this one and see the 3D view of the door. This one is the plan view. This one is for sections and elevations. And this one is for the 3D view. And this is just a render that we see here. The last one is just some information about this door, which we don't work with. So I'm going to put it on the 3D view. And then on the next page, we can control of the frames. So here the frames are unified, and whatever I put in here automatically going to change for these two. Also on the plan view, we can decide the thickness of the leaf, the thickness of the frame, and for example, here we have glass and the thickness of the glass. On the next page, we could select ventilation on the top, which honestly is a little bit strange for me. So I'm going to uncheck it. On the next page, we can select a different leaf type as we saw on the first page. Then we can take control of these frames of the door. So on the lower part, I have 20 centimeter, and upper and the side, I have 10 centimeters. So if I want, I can change this number to 10 centimeter. As you see, it's changed automatically. Also, we can change this grid. Here I can select, for example, now we have 4 by 3, which on here we have 4 and 3. So maybe I want to make it only 2, and here maybe 5. So it will change and update automatically. On the next page, we can select a different type of handle, and we can select that, for example, the height of the handle could be on the 90 degrees and not on the 1 meter. And this one is the position from the side of the door. So now it's 5. If I change this to 15, the handle will be changed and to a different place. So in this case, this is not right place for the handle. And then I'm going to put it back to 5 centimeter. The next page, we're going to take control of the openings. On the plan view, we see that this door is open completely 90 degrees. But on the 3D, it's completely closed. So also here I can put in 90 degree, and we see that this door is open 90 degree. Also here show us the limitation of opening degree. So you couldn't put a number higher than 180. Also on the plan view, for example, if I put this one on 45 degrees, the door will be open only 45 degrees. So for example, if we draw this door on the side of a wall, which it has a little bit angle here, this door couldn't open and hit the wall. So maybe if I put it on the lower degree, we could draw the wall completely and this door wouldn't be on top of the wall. On the next page, we can take control of the plan view. For example, if I check the override box, here we can select that this line would be curved straight or on the axis line. By the way, I never seen a plan that draw the doors like that. So I'm gonna put it on the curve. Also, I'd rather that this will be on the 90. Then we can select a different line for the openings, for example, dashed line or I don't know, dotted line. You can change it as you wish. Also, we can take control. How do we want to see the door in the 3D view? If I override, we can uncheck the opening line here so we don't see this triangle here. Or if we want to work with this one, let me also put back this number to 0 so we would see the door much better. And then we can take control of the color. For example, here on the plan, this door is drawn by an orange color. So I'm going to change it to, for example, blue. And this will be changed. And also on the 3D view, this line will be changed to blue. And this is only for the opening lines, and we can take control of these colors too. So I'm going to move on. And here we would see the same settings that we had so far. Also here we can override the material of the leaf and the frames and everything. So I'm gonna uniform the door surfaces, and here I can select a different color, for example, red. So we have the red door. Also, we can change the glass, which by default is glass. So and then we can change the material of the handle. And this is how we would see the door on the 3D view. If we see this one, we will see it drawn by some orange lines. The next one is the wall opening. So we could have different reveal if we don't want that these walls to be cut like that. We could have inclination of this cut from inside, outside, and of course, if I select it, we could modify the distance that this door has from the surface of the wall. I can change the distance from the surface of the wall, and then we could select a type of wall closure like that, and we could set a different dimensions for it. Also, we could select a masonry arc on the top. Here, the top of the door is straight, flat, so the arc is also flat. And here we can select that this part of the door that we can see some of the wall here, for example, on this part or on this part. We want that the material would be the side of the wall or the wall edge. On the next page, we could take control of the reveal, which, for example, if I select this one, we could set a specific angle for this inclination, this distance, and the thickness of the straight wall. So basically, you don't have any limitation to work with these settings. Then we have wall enclosure, which you can decide if we want to have a plaster reveal or insulated wall, and some other options. Basically, I put it on no closure. Also, I put this one to the basic one, so we don't have any reveal. Then we have masonry arc. Also, we can take control of this masonry arc, the height, the thickness that it comes out. And for example, I can change this one to 0.5. Then the height is 35 maybe. Also, we can change we want the brick arc or the stock arc, and we can choose a different type, of course. I'm gonna move forward. Here we have options for controlling the material of the arc. Then we could set different fixtures and fittings. For example, if I want this casing, or I can remove them. Then the threshold of the door. So here we could have a threshold, and we could, of course, set the dimensions for this. And then we have the seal, which is for the outside. I usually use these ones, of course, depends on the design, for the windows and not for the doors. Then also we could select to have some sunshade and different types of the sunshade. As you see, it's completely clear with these pictures. So I'm gonna move on. And here, if the door has the threshold, you can take control of this threshold. For example, the thickness is 1 centimeter now. Here we have extended one and extended on the both side. So I'm gonna turn it off and move on to next option. Here we have the seal, which basically I don't use maybe. So I'm gonna uncheck. And then we have casing for the outside. For example, here you can see this schematic view of the front of the door. So if I change this 5 centimeter to 10, we're gonna see these changes apply automatically. Also, we can set different width and depth for these frames. So I'm gonna uncheck this one and move on to casing for the inside, the same settings. Here we can take control of the sunshade, which is these two. We can set a different style for this sunshade. Then we can set the position, which here is symmetrical. Here we can set the length and width of the frame and the angle of these shades. Here we can select that if you want to see it on the plan view or not. And so many other options that we can take control of the sunshade. Here for the casing, we can set a different material. Here material is unified. So I'm gonna select, for example, another color for this, maybe this one. So this casing has been changed to a red color, actually it's kind of orange. Then also we can set a different material for the sunshade, which is different for the frame and the feelings. So for example, I'm gonna select the red for the frame and maybe some white for the shades. And then here is the overall view for the door settings. For example, here on the plan view, we see these lines has been drawn with orange. Here we can select a different color, for example, blue. This was for the frame, and this one is for the leaf. And then you can play around to have different appearance for the door. Also here you can select a different style to draw the masonry arc on the 3D view and the plan. For the casing, seal, sunshade, and basically take control of everything. The next one is the minimal space, which I think it's for calculations of safety of the people that are living in this building. And then this one is for the cost and manufacture and any other details that usually used by BIM architects. And this is the last page for the door settings. And then here we have the floor plan and section settings, that how do we want that this door to be seen when we draw a section line here. How do we want to see this door that has been cut? The next one is the dimension marker, which we could have this type of marker to see on the plan view. So I'm gonna turn off this marker. And the last one also used by BIM architects. So this is so far you should know about the door. I'm gonna click OK, and I'm gonna draw this door again on the wall. So this will be the outside of the door. And here I can select how do I desire that this door be opened. Then with the second click, I'm having the door here. When I draw the door, if I select it by arrow tool, here we can take control of the reveal, and we can select to flip the door. For example, in the middle of the design, if we think that this door must be open on the other side, we can do that by just a simple click. Also, if we want to change the opening hinge to the other side, we could just select the Control M on the keyboard, which is mirroring the door. So we could change this again, and by Control M again, it's going to be mirrored. Also, this pinpoint here, if I select it, I can change the opening angle of the door according to our design. I usually draw the wall on 90 degrees. And the good point is that you can do all these settings for all types of the door that you see here, which I'm not gonna go through each one and explain each type and how many options do we have and what each options do. I'm not gonna do that. But basically, all the options you have for the door is the same for all types. Thanks to Archicad, we have a very huge library for the door. And I've never felt any limitation for designing any types of door in my designs. Let's see what other options do we have on the 3D view. So here is the door with this funny arc on the top. And this is the normal door, which basically this door and this door are the same. But with the options that Archicad gives us, we could change a simple door to something like this. So the good point is that also in the 3D view, we can draw. As you see, we can select outside of the wall, then we click, and then we can select how this door would be open, exactly like what we had for the plan view. So I'm gonna delete this one. And then if I select this, and on the corner, like what we have here, these black points, we could select that we could change the width of the door or height of the door by just clicking on these two. And these ones are normal, like the other options that we have. This one is the drag. This one is the elevate. And also we can rotate, mirror, or multiply the door on the same wall. These were all the settings, all the options that I would like you to know. And if you have more questions, please ask me on the comment. I'm gonna read all your questions and I'm gonna answer them properly. Also, don't forget to like this video. And if this is the first time that you are watching my tutorials, please don't forget to subscribe to my channel. I really gonna appreciate it. And on the next tutorial, I'm going to talk about the windows, which are almost similar with the doors. So see you soon and have a nice day. Bye-bye.